to go? Yes. All right. I will call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Adopt, adjust agenda. Anything to add to the agenda?
Commissioner? Nothing from us?
Nothing from you guys? Okay.
No.
All right. Then a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
I move we do it then.
All right.
And take it as presented.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Approving minutes of previous meeting. Any questions or concerns about the previous meeting minutes?
Not anymore.
Not anymore? Any questions answered?
I'll move we adopt them as presented.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All righty. Open public comment. Does anybody have any comments or concerns? All right. Informational item, financials, accounts payable, and payroll. Any questions or concerns? Moving on to new business, AP payroll and Springbrook.
Yeah, so we gave you quite a bit of information. I don't know how much more we can add. We can answer questions if there's anything additional. Obviously, you now see the quote from Tyler, which was 3 times as much a year and almost 3 times as much for the setup, and that's why we really went biased. Pretty good luck. Actually, Thad had another conversation with Surfer's head of finance.
Yeah.
If you want to
Sure.
share that. Yesterday we'll get to that too.
We had a get together, so my counterpart over there got to talk to her. They've had 3 different packages or software products that they have used, Bias being one of them, or Springbrook now, and Tyler, which they use now. And her comment to me was there was a few things in Tyler that they don't use, and that they missed some of the products that they had in Bias before. It's just so tailored to a junior taxing district that and the other one isn't. So anyways, just good conversation with her, and she offered herself also as a resource, which is nice. But.
So any questions we can answer?
I don't have any questions.
So if we went for this, we would start it at the beginning of the next year? Is that the idea, or sooner?
I think the plan now, because it's just a lot of work to make sure it's right, and we could, but we don't want to screw up payroll. So I think the idea would be to do AP 1-1 and then basically run the payroll part in conjunction, mirror shadow, yeah, for the first quarter, so that we can ensure that it's processing with CruCents the way we want, so that everything's right, and then we think we should be able to work out any issues if there are in quarter 1 and start us doing the payroll in quarter 2. That information is easily, because it's only 3 payments, we can put that information back into the budgeting part of Springbrook without much work, because it's just 3 lump sum payments. If that makes sense.
Well, I think you guys really demonstrated that it makes your job easier and it's more convenient for personnel. And I really appreciated all the additional information, being able to see the quotes from Tyler. So I think it was laid out really convincingly, and it seems like a really good move. Thank you for going the extra mile to explain it to me through the packet. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like I said, we just want to make sure there was some interest before we went and did extra work, and we're happy to do anytime you want that.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve?
Yeah, motion to approve the purchase authorization for Springbrook to allow the district to perform our own AP and payroll.
All righty. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Special meeting for budget timelines.
Yeah, so we'll do our official public meeting on November 14th. Now, typically in the past, the commissioners, so we gave you a estimate of the revenue, the tax options that you have. Although it's an estimate, it's probably fairly close. The county is not going to change too much. But in the past, the commissioners always wanted one meeting with the actual numbers and then another meeting to approve it. So if you want to see, and then we kind of have to meet timelines. So if you want that, we're either going to have a special meeting before the 14th or after the 14th. If you guys are comfortable with having the estimates and not seeing the final numbers until on or around the 14th, we can get them out to you beforehand as much as you want. We wouldn't need a special meeting. So I'm just putting that out there. And then if you guys want a special meeting, trying to right now kind of coordinate schedules, because the five of us have that last week of October at conference. And so it's kind of right in the middle of when we'd normally do it. And then you got Halloween. And so don't have to make a decision today. I was just putting it out there so you guys could kind of start making some general plans on how you want to proceed, because we are obviously, Evan's not new, but he's not been ingrained in that process as much. You are new, and so if you want to keep a process, do a different process. This is kind of the time to let us know what your expectations are.
So if we go to a different, which one of these is it? Like August timeframe, would that in the future then preclude having an extra meeting?
No, the really what this is caused by is the revenue side, because we have to get the assessed valuation and everything from the county with official things, and then we have to do resolutions, and you have to pass them in time for us to get them to the county. And so this part of it is all driven on the revenue side, from getting the information to the assessor's office, you guys passing appropriate resolutions by law, and getting back to the assessor's office by the deadline. So the expense side we control, and so that's always been easier to do because we can start that whenever we want. What gets crunchy is the stuff that's driven by the assessor requirements and when they give us the information.
And what's the latest they've given that to us in the past?
I've obviously only been here 3 years, but it
Right.
has quite a wide range. It's been from the 1st of October until almost the last week of October, which was I think in 19 that I looked. And so we have a meeting, a Zoom meeting, not a meeting, we have a Zoom class with Chris Heibloom, one of the top in the assessor's office, next Tuesday. Is that right?
Sounds right, yeah.
So I'm hoping in that meeting he will give us some more information, but the last communication was the estimates, and he basically said we have no idea when we're going to get the final numbers. And then the deadlines to get them to the county are set by the state. And so no matter how late they give it to us, it's not like they can say, oh, we gave it to you late, we're going to give you more time. So we know a deadline that's set by state law, and then we have to work from when we get the final information to that deadline.
So what's the deadline?
I would have to look now, but it's usually mid to the last half of November.
Okay. That it has to go in,
Yes.
that the resolution has to.
It has to be to the assessor's office. And that, I haven't looked it up. I could look it up and say, but the assessor, when they send out that paperwork, it has all the deadlines for them. Because it also is a little bit changed because we actually submit our resolution to the county council, and the county council adopts it. So depending on the county council schedule, that changes a little bit. They usually try to have a meeting right near the deadline. But again, we have to meet their deadline to get it on their meeting to get it into the state. So, if you guys want a meeting before, we can do it. A meeting after, we can do it. Well, obviously, we have the 14th meeting no matter what.
I'm kind of inclined to have an extra meeting to make sure we have some, I think that would help Commissioner Gleason too, at least your first go around to see what.
Yeah.
Because I think it helped me, even though I'm still asking questions, so, to kind of understand the process a little better, so.
What are your thoughts? You want to have an extra meeting?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
You want to do it before the 14th? I mean, I can't guarantee it, but we can always cancel if not. But I would say if we do it like the 31st or after, I'm going to say 90% that we would have the final numbers by the county by then. That would be, if they give it to us after the 31st, they would really be asking us to.
French.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. And we can make that decision later on, right?
You could, so you can either make it now or Chair, you can call it anytime. So I can let you know when we get them, then you guys can arrange schedules and we can do it anytime. I just wanted to kind of let everybody know that really it's the 31st beyond, before the 31st is probably not going to happen.
Okay. All right. All right. Transfer of funds from F-76.
Yeah, and like I said, we're trying to get the RLB fund to really be more like we legally can't, but for lack of a better term, its own business. We want to kind of keep track of how we're generating revenue, how we're spending that revenue. It will help us, like we just changed the rates, but we just kind of guessed, for lack of a better term. If we can really get some historical data of how much it's costing us just to run the RLB and how much it comes in, then you're going to be able to make better decisions on the rates. And so part of this, we brought revenue in, and in the past it's just went into the general fund, and then we would just decide kind of a random number of what to put in the RLB, and I would like it to be more whatever revenue comes in, we put in the RLB. So this is revenue that came into the RLB, and it came in as a way that it was off of our bill. So we budgeted $14,000 for Recruit Academy, but we get credit for them using our thing. So that just came off the bill. So we spent less money out of that line item. Well, that money really should be in the RLB. And so this is just going to move that money that we didn't spend out of that line item for Recruit School and put it into the RLB because it really was RLB revenue.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Do you have a motion?
Yeah. Motion to move $38,000 from F-70 line item 4935 Recruit Academy to F-76 Training Center Fund.
All in favor?
All right.
All right, draft 2023 budget, revenue, expense, and capital.
Yeah, so the draft budget is in your packets and out to the public packets. We use the August to August CPI, like we talked about. It came back as 9% for August to August for the last 12 months, so that's what we used. Again, and that has the line item combinations. For the final budget, when I give to you the next one, we will take all that those red lines out, and it'll just be a clean 23 budget. So just wanted to kind of let you know that. So there's no action here because obviously it's the draft budget. You won't adopt that until the official budget meeting on the 14th. But do you have any questions for us on the draft budget?
It was very long.
Yes, it was.
I feel like it was much more organized than last year.
Thank you. Yeah, I call it the budget book now, or as some have heard, the budget Bible.
Yes.
So it gives us everybody a better, I think, picture of what we're doing and why we're doing it.
Thank you. All right. Any other questions or comments, concerns about the budget?
So the individuals that are named in here for certain line items, are any of those new assignments or anything like that?
There could be. I couldn't tell you. We didn't really keep track of that. They're all custodians, but yeah, we move things around to be more logical because duties are changing. What Greg is doing and what Jason and Thad are doing is different than what has been done before. In the past, part of the BCs had a much more administrative role, and so we took some line items from some of the BCs so that they could. The idea isn't that they don't have the ability to do that. The idea is we want them to focus on operational stuff, and so if the line item is operational, then they should have it. But we want them to spend more time interacting with the crews, doing training, than managing the gas bill. Like that's what Craig did. Greg now has all the utilities. That's not an operational function. The reason that we have some more deputy chiefs is so they can do that and let the BCs focus on being operational. So there's some changes, absolutely, but I can't tell you off the top of my head what they all are.
Okay. That's fine. It's nice to see who's to do what, as if it was,
All right.
I have a comment or a question.
Tom, question.
So on first read, because it's long, the only thing I had a question about is I just would like to request a little more information on line item number 4907, which is training, and just the Castros ICS training workshop. It's got a pretty hefty price tag, and so just a little more explanation as to whether that's required CEs or just a little more information. I would like.
Yeah, so we went through and rewrote a whole new ICS policy last year. Mm-hmm. And we really are trying to put more emphasis on training of that. And this is more of a IC training, so it's scenario based and learning that. It's not anything specific, blue card or anything else, so it can really fit to anything. And it is quite expensive, but Aaron left. Our plan is, and we can't budget in there, but we have been working with the school district, because we do a lot of things with the school district. Hammond's is at the games and other things, and so we've asked them how can we partner with you so that we do some stuff. And so we're gonna be doing it at the PAC of the high school it's 3 days and we're doing 1 day at the school, is that right?
1 day class.
1 day class, and so we can, if it's 300 and some people,
Yes.
and so we're gonna charge for that, and then the goal is to get a lot of that back through those fees, but until people sign up, we don't know, and so.
So it's recoverable.
Correct, we're trying to do, and same with the Lasky, we're gonna do the same thing, so we're trying to use that to, and then on the 2 day class, we'll also have some spots open, or not, or that just
No.
us?
That was limited to
Okay.
18 or
Okay.
19, so that'll be District 4 only.
And so it's a lot of money, but trying to, again, kind of put more emphasis on getting that training and bringing that knowledge in to make sure all of our acting officers and officers are able to kind of grow in that area as we focus more on that a little stronger.
And it's the 3-day training, we had, 4 or 5 of us 2 years ago go down to the King County Consortium, Bellevue, Redmond area hosted Castro. So we went down to a 2-day class. He's also going to be up in our area later this year. He'll be at South County, then he goes up to Anacortes, then over to Port Angeles. So it's kind of a tactics, strategy, IMS type class that the 2 days of hands-on as scenarios, and he brings adjunct instructors with them, so that some of that cost is transporting the crew and lodging and all that kind of stuff. It is expensive, but I think other agencies, we're not probably getting a cut deal, but we're paying the going rate for what he charges for not cheap.
And it's the same thing, like whatever revenue we bring in, we'll come back to you and ask you to, recover that into that line item, so it doesn't seem like it's as big. So we don't know what we'll charge per person, but, with 300 people, knock on wood, we can get a decent amount of that covered.
Thank you.
But Aaron's also leading it, so if you want more information, we can put you in touch with T.O. Hammer, who has probably a lot more detail.
All right, executive session. The board will be moved to an executive session pursuant to RCW 42.30.110 to consider the selection of a site for acquisition of real estate. 20 minutes with no action expected, and pursuant to RCW 42.30.110 to review the performance of an employee. 30 minutes with possible action. All right, and we'll adjourn at 7:25.
You guys staying in here? No. That's not allowed.